Hey, this is Joe, Graybench Electronics. I got a busted Ibanez Tube Screamer TS-9. We're going to do repair first, and then we will look at some modifications we can make to the TS-9 to make it more like its predecessor, the TS-808. Let's get started. All right, so here is the Ibanez TS-9 Tube Screamer. Visual inspection on the outside. It's a little bit dirty, some dust and grime. Switch sounds like it's fine. Everything seems to move as it should. Still has its battery door, which is good. Sometimes you'll find Tube Screamers or just Boss pedals in general missing its battery door, so that's cool. 9-volt battery snap, looks fine. Previous owner said that the pedal just has no output. You just plug it in, doesn't make any sound. Let's plug in a battery, see if the LED lights up. Okay, so LED lights up, which is good. Let's open it up and see what we see inside. Okay, back door looks in good condition. Circuit board looks normal. I don't see any obvious spots where any resoldering was done. Let's take out the board screw here. Okay, so immediately we've got a disconnected wire here, this white wire. That is the output wire for the jack here. We can see there the output jack terminal does not have a wire attached, so that'll stop sound. Oh, okay. Looks like there's also a ground wire here that's disconnected, but that probably wouldn't stop the pedal from working. This ground wire, I guess this ground wire just comes over here to the other jack just to make sure that they are sharing the same ground connection. Look at the circuit board. There's our famous JRC 4558 chip, SK30As. 2SC1815. Okay, looks pretty clean. Don't see anything burnt. So this might just be these wires that came, and then this output cable that came disconnected. So why don't we solder that back on and maybe just fix a couple of these connections for the ground wire here. It looks pretty chewed up in there. So we'll just fix a couple of those wires and plug it back in, just see if it works. All right, soldered those wires back on, so let's plug it in and just see if it's fixed. so that was easy. Just a disconnected output wire. And Tubescreamer is back to life. I think I bought this thing for 20 bucks on Reverb, so that's cool. But we're not done yet. We're going to crack it back open, and we will look at the famous, infamous, whatever you want to call it, TS-808 mods to turn a TS-9 into, effectively, a TS-808. So let's look at that next. All right, so here's the schematic for the Ibanez Tube Screamer. This is the TS-808 schematic. This came from electrosmash.com. They have a whole article on the Tubescreamer. If you want to know in depth how the Tubescreamer works, go check out that article. I'll put a link in the description for that. So the modifications we're going to make to turn the TS-9 into this schematic, TS-808, is very few. So there's a couple changes to the output buffer here. 2 resistors here marked RB of 100 ohms and RC 10K. Those are the values we need to change to. On the TS-9, it is a 470 ohm resistor here and a 100K ohm resistor here. We're going to change those 2 resistors to match what it says here, 100 ohms and 10K. We're also going to put in a socket for the opamp. That way the next owner can mix and match op amps to find a different sound they're looking for. Personally, I don't think op amps make a lick of difference in terms of sound, or at least if you heard a change in sound, it'd be very difficult to narrow it down specifically to the op amp. I don't think this is really worth it, but people love to try and find different tube screamers with different op amps. I'm not a big tube screamer person, so who knows, maybe people know something I don't, but we're gonna do it anyway. We'll put a socket in for the op amp, and I think I might even have an old 4558 I can put in there just to up the mojo factor. So let's get started on that. All right, so these 2 resistors are the ones we're going to change. So we got the 470 ohm right there, and the 100K is going to change to 10K. So we're going to change the 470 to a 100 ohm resistor and the 100K there to a 10K. And then obviously we're going to pull out the op amp and put a socket in. All right, got the two resistors placed in the circuit board there for the output buffer. Here is the 4558 that I pulled out of the board. I don't know the date codes or anything for these chips. I'm sure there's someone out there maybe in the comments who can educate us. Here's my stash of 4558s or equivalents. I do have some 6558s, some Panasonics that I think I got these on Facebook Marketplace of all places. But let's go ahead and pop that in there. And let's see. So I think these 4558s are older. They're not JRC, Japanese Radio Corporation, but I think they're old. They look old-ish. This will go. So there you go. That's what the new chip's going to look like. RC4558. And on the inside it says whatever that says. Fitting the socket inside the PCB was a little bit of a struggle. Had to push the tantalum out of the way here, and it's not seated as flush as I would normally like, but it's in there plenty well, and there's 8 pads of solder holding it in, so not particularly concerned about that. Let's just get our orientation correct. Go and push it in just like that. Let's put it back together and fire it up and just make sure it still makes the kind of sounds we want it to make. All right, sounds like this Tube Screamer is working good. Did the little repair there with the disconnected cables, and we did that TS-808 mod with the 2 resistors replaced for the output buffer, and socketed the IC, and it's got some old vintage IC in there. If anyone knows what that IC is, you let me know in the comments. I didn't really do, or think it was necessary to do a before and after sound test, because frankly it sounds exactly the same. But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching that little repair / modification there. All right, so that's it for the repair and modification of an Ibanez TS-9 / now TS-808 Tube Screamer. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate you hitting the like button and subscribing, and hit the notification bell if you want to know when I make a new video. And if you want to own this pedal, you can. It is available for sale. Check for the reverb link in the description. I am Joe from Graybetch Electronics. Thank you for watching.